Hello and welcome to another video update. In this video series, we talk a little bit about potential altcoin season indicators and about the altcoin sector overall. I want to share in this video my thoughts around the others chart as well as the USDT dominance chart. In the video from a couple of days ago, I talked about some other altcoin season indicators and what we need to see for an altcoin season, and also about my thoughts around an altcoin season. So feel free to check this out because it gives you some more information. But let me just talk a little bit about it. In general, I do not expect a full-blown altcoin season as we had it 2017 or 2021. It was a different time. It was a different sentiment in the market. We do not have that anymore in this cycle. Rather, you can see how the momentum is decreasing. And this is, by the way, the others chart. Others chart is, here we focus on just like the altcoin market cap, right? And it does exclude also the stable coins. So you see how the trend, the strength of the trend is different in this cycle from the 2022 low. I mean, my view is we could be, from an Elliott wave point of view, here in a fifth wave to the upside. I mean, are other scenarios possible? Yes, other scenarios are possible. I could count this differently. However, I think it aligns very well also with Bitcoin's chart. I think what I just wanted to show you here, not so much the focus on Elliott waves, because honestly, this chart, this market cap chart is not a tradable asset. So the use of Elliott wave is questionable. What I actually want to show you here is, I think the strength of the trend is different. And I explained in the last video why that is, because we are in a different cycle on the Bitcoin chart. Yeah, since 2022, it's a so-called fifth wave from an Elliott wave point of view. It's not a third wave, which gave us a hype phase. We don't have that in this cycle, and that is very, very important. It's a difference, yeah? And also, I mean, what I actually wanted to show you is, let's talk about Q4. So 2024 in Q4, from the August lows actually, a bit different than this year, but from the August lows into the December highs, we had a nice rally. The market cap moved up quite a bit, roughly 200%. 200%. And then we had, hold on. Let's see how it happened. What happened after December 22 actually. So you see that actually from December 22 it moved up, but it was more like a sideways range down here, and then it really picked up in Q4. Yeah, again from September, October 2023. So here we had nice increases, whereas sort of you see there was more of a decline sort of from the March highs 2024 and before that. But Q4, the last 2 years, was profitable. Now, again, we have something similar this year potentially coming up. Obviously, it's already going up a little bit, yeah, but maybe we get that final push in Q4. It's often Q4 in which altcoins perform quite well. I mean, also previously, right? Just into 2021. Let's be honest here. 2021, that last bit, was also in Q4. This is when the cycle topped, and obviously 2020 as well, right? But I think all of this was quite profitable. But overall, just wanted to highlight to you, in terms of altcoin season, this is not going to be, in my view, what many people call altcoin season. If you really experienced a full-blown altcoin season, then this cycle is so different. I get it. A lot of people probably didn't. A lot of people entered the market in this cycle and never experienced a full-blown altcoin season. It is a bit different. But why do I show you this? Actually, first of all, to help you understand kind of the cycle and where we are. But also, let's take a look at the USDT dominance chart. I was asked by some of our members to take a closer look at it. And how can we relate that potentially to an altcoin season? Now, without getting further declines here on the USDT dominance chart, I think it'll be difficult to really get strong performance in the altcoin sector. I mean, you know, technically speaking, market cap dominance could, USDT, yeah, could stay the same, could stay unchanged, and altcoins could still perform if Bitcoin dominance goes down. Because if money or if funds flow from Bitcoin to altcoins, then USDT dominance could stay the same, but we could still see altcoins go up. But I would argue without really additional funds coming into the sector and without people taking on more risk by shifting USDT over into the altcoin sector, it's going to be difficult. Now, please understand this here is really, really speculative because also here USDT dominance isn't really made for Elliott wave analysis. It is not a tradable asset. But what I'm tracking here from the 2022 high, which is basically when the bull cycle started, yeah, we had a shift, a decline, yeah, and then since March last year, and again, this was kind of Q4, right, where we had this decline, where funds moved into the altcoin and, you know, altcoin sector, but also Bitcoin. Since then, we've really only seen sideways action. And so as soon as we take out these previous swing lows here around 3.8% and 3.9%, I mean, this is probably when we will start to lose support. We've got a trend line there as well. I'm not saying we have to go up first in significant ways. We don't have to. I just have a trend line here, 3 touch points, which could provide resistance. But obviously, it would be beneficial, yeah, to see this. So keep an eye on USDT dominance. Without a strong decline, I think it will be difficult for altcoins to really start to move. Yeah. Overall, we are in a local downtrend actually since the April highs. But for really, this is also when kind of Bitcoin dominance started to top, right? Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance. Keep an eye on that. Yeah, I mean, actually a little later, in June, it topped. So funds started to move already from stable coins to Bitcoin and altcoins a little earlier. But overall, you know, what we need to see ideally is further downside here. And at the moment, there is a local downtrend, but you could argue that this is really more of a sideways range overall, yeah? Local downtrend, yes, but more of a sideways range overall. What I really need to see here is a break of these previous swing lows, and then this would be my preferred outcome here, all the way down to maybe 2.75%. Those are like ideal projections from an Elliott wave point of view, right? And once we start to see a decline below these previous lows, it likely means this triangle that I'm tracking here in a so-called B wave from an Elliott wave point of view, this is likely over. Now, obviously, any rally here in wave E would be a bit counterproductive. So there isn't really, from an Elliott wave point of view, a guideline that this E wave needs to extend much more. It doesn't. I mean, we could, if we go to the smaller time frame, we could say that, hey, maybe just another small bounce would be enough or so. And again, there's no there's no need to do that anyway. There is a micro support area here, and as soon as we break below it, we have our first indication it might be starting to roll over, right? So overall, I think with what we see here, the pressure is rather still to the downside. I certainly don't see an impulsive upside reversal, which is kind of still promising. In addition to what we normally would expect in Q4 to happen, that could be quite promising. I mean, again, could this cycle be a bit different? Timing is always difficult, right? I'm just saying that if this cycle is rhyming, and rhyming previous cycles, rhyming what happened before, then it is often Q4 where we see altcoins perform and where we also see eventually Bitcoin form a major top. This cycle could extend a little bit, okay? But we just need to keep an eye here on USDT dominance and on any downtrend that ideally would still unfold. Bitcoin dominance also should still see a little bit more downside here, yeah. Often there is a bit of a bounce in October. So if we activate here our monthly returns heat map for Bitcoin dominance, you see that October is usually a boom month, right? So, I mean, could it be that we get Bitcoin dominance go up a little bit in October, yeah, and then November sell off? Maybe, yeah, maybe could that relate to USDT dominance? Maybe go up a little bit before a dump as well. Maybe, yeah. I mean, I can tell you that this here could go well in line with Bitcoin dominance go down. It kind of goes in line with that. Yeah, it's aligned because if USDT dominance goes down, that indicates funds are flowing from stablecoins into the crypto sector. If then also Bitcoin dominance goes down, then it indicates this could shift funds into the altcoin sector. So just some ideas around the charts. Yeah, I mean, overall, I still think Q4 could be overall profitable. Altcoins, as long as we are in this sideways range, still have some difficulties, I think. I'll definitely keep an eye on this. I'll keep you updated about it. Let me know in the comments what you think about Q4. And yeah, wish you a great start to the week. Make sure you subscribe and leave a thumbs up. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.